I'm gon' win. Time to begin, I'll be playing the games like I know I'm gon' win. Time to begin, it's your time. Time to begin,
Good evening and welcome inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center here at Niagara College on the Welland campus. It's the Niagara College Knights taking on the Mohawk Mountaineers in OCAA women's volleyball action. My name is Noah Vogel, alongside me Alex Vandenhack and MJ Graham. The last game of the 2025 season for both of these teams as we head into the Christmas break and the new year. And for NC, they're coming off a bit of a tough stretch, Alex, and could really use a win here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to say that this is the last game of 2025. I remember when volleyball first started, it felt like last week. But no, you're right. This has been a tough stretch. They've lost 3 in a row, granted, against some really good teams like St. Clair and Humber. But I said this to you earlier before. This game almost, of course, there's no must win in November, but this game feels like a must win because you started out 5-0 and you had tons of momentum. You've dropped 3 in a row now. And if you lose your last 4 games going into the break, that's not going to sit very well with the girls at practice. You've got to end off this break on a high note against a struggling Mohawk team.
NC coming into this one 5-3 on the season. Mohawk on the other side have had a struggle to start the year. 1 of 5. They are riding a 4-game losing streak and are looking to break it against a team in NC that looks a little bit prone to another loss here. As we send it down to courtside, we get ready for the national anthems and the start of this match. So as we get set here for tonight's first slate of 2, the men's, of course, to follow after this one, will begin with the starting lineups, beginning with Mohawk and the Mountaineers. And starting at the center position, Kyra Cameron, who makes her first return since playing for NC 2 seasons ago. Sophia Spoljar will start at the libero position. Kendra Baker, Maggie Gayland, Olivia Rosewell, Avery McConkey, and Ashley Gibbons. And for Mohawk, Alex, tough start to the season. They haven't had a great track record here against NC away from home. How do you want to see them start tonight's game?
Well, you have to get off to a quick start because we've seen at times Niagara's fallen behind the 8 ball at times. You go back to that game against St. Clair on the road, they were down 2 sets to none, and to be honest, they got dominated. Granted, there's a big difference level in talent between these 2 teams, but if you can get behind on Niagara, there's some doubt that gets into their head. They've lost 3 in a row, and the morale's not great going into this one, but you have to get ahead. Of the 8 ball early here in this one.
And for NC, a very, very similar lineup to pretty much every game so far this season. Tess Kelly will get the start alongside Megan Patterson, Abby Gooder, Tia Kelly, Kira Verostek, Larissa Schipper, and Sam Cormier. And MJ for NC, of course, losing their last 3 games. In 2 of those games, they went to 5 sets, were only a few points away from coming out with W's in those games. How do you want to see them come out to start this one?
As Alice was saying earlier, with a good sense of momentum, a good sense of getting ahead early. I will say that one of those losses was to Hamburg, which is a real buzzsaw of a team. So ideally, yeah, if they can get out ahead of themselves early, they'll be in a good position to take the W.
The Knights, of course, playing in their second game of this week. They played midweek against Redeemer in what was, or pardon me, on the weekend is the midweek game here today on a Wednesday night. And for NC, they fell short in that game in 5 sets against a Redeemer team where you never really know what you're going to get. They can come out very, very strong in games, and they were able to take them in the 5th and final. And NC are looking to bounce back from that loss as we get started here as the teams line up.
And I mean, I would argue as well in this one, you don't know what you're going to get at Mohawk because this is a rivalry game. You've played in these games, of course, granted a completely different sport. But when it's Mohawk-Niagara, Niagara-Sheridan, Niagara-Humber, you never know what you're going to get because there's not too much love between these 2 teams.
So Kyra Cameron will start things off. She, like we mentioned, played 2 seasons with NC. She played in 2022, 23, 23, 24. She took a year off from OCAA athletics and now returns back with Mohawk as Schipper on the overpass, able to put it down for the first NC point. And for Cameron, she played 32 total games, 94 sets for NC, and she has had a bit more of a role for Mohawk. And now starting at that setter position, she's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, can play in a bunch of different positions, but has found herself at the setter position for Mohawk. She'll go to the outside, swung through the block and down. And a hard swing from Avery McConkey for her first kill.
To your point about Kyra Cameron starting at setter today, but you look at the roster sheet, she's listed as a libero and an outside hitter. So, like you mentioned, a Swiss Army knife for this Mohawk offense.
Pass off the arms of Gooder. They'll go to the outside. Verostek swinging cross court, and Mohawk was on the net. So NC able to win the point off the blocking error.
NC with some good momentum to start off.
And we'll see an early sub here from Steve Stone as Amy Lee Delohe will come in for Skipper. He'll get her to come in and serve. Cameron will go to the middle this time. Gibbons going deep corner, and Gooder got a touch to it, but couldn't keep it in play. It's 2-2 here early on. Abby Gooder named Athlete of the Week at NC after her performance against Humber and Redeemer in those games last week, as she passes this time to Kelly, who finds Tess Kelly out of the middle, and the sister connection able to get NC back in the lead.
Tess Kelly this season's really taken a leap. 7th in service aces here this season, and she's starting in place of Montana Taylor, who's so good for this Knights team at that setter position, won team MVP last year. You can't replace her, of course, but I will say Tia Kelly, she's been solid this year.
And she had a year under, of course, playing as the backup setter. She had some games where she played in last year and some late game scenarios where she was able to get some reps, and she, like you said, has really taken over that role, and she's done a great job for NC so far this season. Runner on the outside, dug up that time by Patterson. NC will have to throw over a deep one. And a shot from Verostek. They go to the back row. Mohawk blocked up at the net. Spoljar will keep it alive. Mohawk will put a down ball to the corner. Just out. And NC will take the point.
Good hustle there to keep that play alive.
Mohawk going to be a very scrappy team. You look at Sofia Spoljar, currently 9th in digs percent this season, averaging just over 3. And for NC, quite the opposite. They like to end points really early. They're top 3 in the OCAA in kills this season and first in blocks. They like to put the ball down, and just like that, they get an ace from Kira Vorostek.
Well, you talk about first in blocks. Tess Kelly, Larissa Skipper, Larissa 5th in blocks, Tess 4th in the OCAA, and you also have Sam Cormier, who maybe hasn't had the most blocks this season, but we know what she can do at the line.
Spoljar able to pass up as Cameron was thrown on the run. It's put over by Mohawk. Gooder will swing on the outside. That one came off the touch and down for Abby Gooder's first kill.
Niagara heating up.
NC looking to string some points together on the back of a serving run from the first year from Tabor, Alberta. And Kira Vorostek Cameron will play again to the back row, and that one didn't make it over from Kendra Baker. And Mohawk in a bit of a slump offensively.
We were speaking earlier about Niagara trying to get ahead of themselves, so they put themselves in a great position to take the set, and so far, so good.
As that serve into the net. And one thing NC has struggled with this season is their service errors. They ranked first in the OCAA coming into this game. They've now got themselves over 100 on the season.
Not a first place ranking you want.
Kelly on the outside. That one hit long, and she was looking for touches, but won't get them. And that's where Mohawk can catch NC off guard, is when they start to make mistakes, they can make a run back into this game. And staying within striking distance near the late of a set can help them steal one away from the Knights, but that won't help as Roswell puts that one into the net. (8-5) NC early on. Skipper will come back in as Delohi is rotated into the front row. Here's Tess Kelly's serve. Spoljar passes off the net, and they'll swing from McConkey cross court. Kelly with the dig, but it was put all over on an overpass, but it turns into an NC point. Mohawk couldn't take care of it.
And to your point about Niagara being first in service aces and obviously Mohawk being scrappy defensively, that could be something that could play into Mohawk's hand, because Niagara struggles to put the ball in a good position for them.
And McConkey's swing was dug up by Cormier, but nobody there to get the second ball on a bit of a miscommunication that time, Alex. And again, if you're NC, you don't want to get yourself into a bunch of points in a row where you're giving up easy points to Mohawk and creating yourself in your own errors, because then you're basically forcing yourself down a rabbit hole where Mohawk doesn't have to do much to string points.
Well, I mean, that's exactly kind of what I alluded to, is because Mohawk put pressure on Niagara to make a mistake, and they did. So that one gets down, but it's almost like in baseball when they always say, put the ball in play, put the ball in play. You can try and find a hole, get something going, but when the ball is just going into your netting or not in a good place, you're not going to have success.
McConkey had a tight set that time, was able to roll it over and win the point again. Here's Galen with the serve. That one caught the tape. Gooder with an outstretched arm, able to keep it alive. She'll throw over a free ball. Cameron will go to the outside for Gibbons on the step around, and she finds the back corner around the block, and Mohawk is within one.
Quick 5-2 run for the Mountaineers.
And now they're starting to find some offense. They were down as many as 4 at the start of this set, and now they've worked their way back. Here's Cormier swinging to the back row this time. She hit it long, and now NC's gone cold. Again, it starts with a pass for the Knights. Mohawk just doing a good job putting pressure on their serve receive here. Galen's serve is another ace. And Mohawk now leading 10-9 here in set number 1.
Yeah, that's one that Kira Vrostek probably wants to have back.
Niagara really needs to regroup and focus up.
They'll switch up their serve receives. They'll get Cormier to step in to help pass. Now with 4 passers in the back row, they'll still have to throw over a free ball. A miscommunication on the side of Mohawk. McConkey's going to have to race over and play a deep corner perfectly into the back line. And everything flowing Mohawk's way right now.
And I said, and these rivalry games records don't really matter. Mohawk's almost lost sets at a 1-2 ratio, winning 8, losing 15, and yet in the last little bit they've been absolutely dominant.
That's a good pass from Patterson. Skipper out of the middle. Mohawk able to keep it alive off the block. McConkey will swing. Came off the touch of Skipper. They go to the outside for Gooder. She swings. Baker able to keep it alive. Cameron will put a high ball over to the near side. Swung on. Touch by Vorostek, but it wasn't enough. And Mohawk with their biggest lead. It's 12-9. And that's going to cause a timeout for Steve Stone. Alex, where's it gone wrong for NC?
Well, Mohawk is, I mentioned it before, Mohawk has put pressure on this Niagara defense, and Niagara's made mistakes of their own. Of course, we mentioned their mistakes at the service line, but which they haven't really done. They've only been 1 service error in the early goings, but Mohawk's been putting pressure on the Niagara defense, and they made mistakes. And to be honest, if Mohawk wants to win here today, that's part of what they're going to have to do.
Bit of miscommunication there later on in the set so far.
And there was that one play when Cormier dug it out and no one was there to give her a hand to set up a pass. And that's kind of the perfect representation of this first set so far.
I'd like to point out one of the possible secret keys to Mohawk's success is the big bucket of snacks they have on one of their chairs. Eagle-eyed viewers will be able to spot it when we pan over.
Making sure to stay refreshed in a game that could possibly go the distance. These two teams pretty tight so far. It's only a 3-point lead for Mohawk. And they've, after a slow start, have found themselves offensively. They've done a great job putting pressure on NC, like you mentioned, Alex, and have taken advantage of a lot of free balls, which they've put away. And a team who relies a lot on their defense on the back end has also done a great job shutting down NC and putting good blocks up with the net and forcing attacking errors and keeping balls alive. So out of the timeout, it's 12-9 Mohawk as Galen puts in a serve. It's passed up by Cormier. Gooder swings down the back row and up and out. And NC needed that side out.
Great way to start building a little bit of momentum.
So now here's Tia Kelly, 3rd year out of Niagara Falls. Her first year as NC starting setter. And she puts in a great serve. It was kept alive momentarily, but Spoljar couldn't get the 3rd ball over. And that's another service ace to the tally. The 17th of the season for Tia Kelly. Spoljar gets it right that time. Gibbons will have to throw over a free ball and the miscommunication on the set. High ball to the outside for Gooder, swinging down the line, and she just forced it into the hands of Gibbons and down. And NC 3 straight points out of the timeout.
Just like that, Niagara's back in it.
And it's been Niagara now, granted only 3 points, and they've been the ones to put in the pressure on Mohawk, and they're making them pay.
Kelly, another laser of a serve, but a great pass by Spoljar. It was tight for Gibbons as she tips over. They go to Skipper. She finds the hole around the block, and she gets another kill for NC. They're back in the lead.
I don't know what Coach Stone said during the timeout, but clearly had a positive effect.
And sometimes, we talked about the mistakes, sometimes that's all you need is just a breather. Not to say Steve Stone didn't have a good message in the timeout, but just to say, okay, let's calm things down. Because you got to remember, these guys, they've lost 3 games in a row, just to say, okay, let's calm things down.
Reset.
Reset, thank you. I need to reset there.
Serve goes out from Kelly, and Kyra Cameron returns the favor as she misses the serve.
Great heads-up play right there.
Back to a 1-point NC lead, 14-13 here in set number 1. First meeting between these two teams of the season. The last game for NC of 2025. Looking to go into the break with a win after losing 3 straight. Tight to the net, and played really well that time by Avery McConkey. And a long reach for the 6'1", second-year outside hitter. She's had a lot of success above the net so far in the early goings. She'll now serve for Mohawk, a shallow one. Fought off by Gooder. They go to Cormier on the outside, and she finds the back line. Only her second attack in this first set, and she's able to put in a kill.
Threading the needle on that one.
Now Larissa Skipper serving. Spoljar passes up. Cameron towards the outside. Baker into the nets. And she tried to play it back up, but it was 4 hits. Never got the touch on the block.
Niagara chipping away.
Skipper serve off the net. And out of system, will throw over a down ball. Cormier tipping down the line. Another smart play from Sam Cormier. And it's going to be a timeout Mohawk. As NC came out of the timeout and put on an 8-2 run. They currently lead by 3. And that's the game of volleyball. How quickly a game can turn around. And they now have a bit of a stronghold here in this first set.
Absolutely, and I mentioned before, NC was making those mental mistakes. They had a breather, and they've been able to get back to that team that we saw throughout the first 5 games of the season when they started out 5-0.
Great job in Niagara, digging deep and getting back in it. After Mohawk had a little bit of a run there.
And it's been the presence up front, Cormier with a couple of attacks, and of course, Larissa Skipper, who this year has taken such a big leap. No, obviously last year had some moments off the bench, but this year has become a starter and really, really reliable. 4th in the OCAA in blocks. I think she's making a bid to be potentially a second-team All-Star.
You look at a lot of the lineup for NC, the starters for them for the majority of the season, and Skipper, who had some opportunities last year, but has really got a boost in her playing time this season. You look at Tia Kelly, who's now the starting setter for her first season in the 3 she's been here. Abby Gooder, of course, a veteran of NC. She's in her 5th season. And having players like that, players like Sam Cormier and Tess Kelly, who's played for NC through all their 3 years, starting in the rookie season, and able to kind of be that veteran presence for their teammates and try and build a core after losing a couple of key pieces from last year. You look at Natalie Little, who played on the left side, now being replaced by Kira Vorostek, who gets a kill, and only in her first year, and how well she's done for the Knights. But also, of course, losing Montana Taylor, and you put Tess Kelly, who had a lot to learn through the past 3 seasons, as her backup, and she has really flourished in that new role.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Niagara, a lot, especially with this women's program, but you even look at some of our other athletic programs, but Niagara has been able to get these players in year 1, maybe don't play all that much, and then in year 2, they really blossom and become a superstar. And I mean, that's what we've seen. Perfect example is Larissa Skipper.
Here she is again now serving. NC leading by 5. That one into the net, the service error.
And I mean, on the men's side of things, another example is like RJ Martin, who had some opportunities in his first season. And I mean, now feels like kind of a lock to be an all-star on the men's side of things.
Gibbons serve a deep one, passed up by Patterson. They go to the middle. Kelly dug up by Gibbons. NC will try once more on the free ball. Cormier puts it to bed. And NC the first to 20. They're pushing 5 here for a set 1 win. They're going to make a double substitution here as Lily Ireland will come in, as well as Amy Barlow. So the double substitution to keep the back row hands. And now Ireland will go back and serve. Lona BC native in her first season. And will step in and set for these final 5 points for NC. Kelly on the overpass, able to put it down, and Mohawk's going to take their final timeout of the set as they try and regroup here down 6.
Niagara with all the momentum.
I mean, to your point, MJ, all the momentum. It's make or break time. I mean, in this first set, you've got 3 points to play with if you're Mohawk, but if they can't get that done, then they're going to be behind the 8 ball, 1-0. And I mean, I made the point, Niagara needs to get off to a quick start fast, and they didn't really do that in the first set. Mohawk had that lead, and then they called the timeout. But since that point, I mean, Niagara's looked like the team that we've expected them to be all season long.
Credit to the Knights. They've only given up 3 points since that timeout that they called near the middle of the set, and they've really proven their dominance over Mohawk here in this first set, and are looking to continue that pressure on.
Knights much more focused up noticeably after that shaky middle portion of the set.
And I mean, kind of to what MJ was saying, not to discredit Mohawk, but I feel like when Mohawk went on the run, it was more Niagara's mistakes and misdoings versus Mohawk being dominant, if that makes sense.
And NC's done a great job cleaning that up, and they've played some clean volleyball ever since. And they're looking to take a set 1 win as they send that one out the back. So they'll drag it out longer here and give Mohawk a little bit of something to fight for. A 5-point game only. Mohawk still within striking distance, if they can shrink some points behind some Kendra Baker serves. As she puts one deep, Gooder able to pass it up. They go to Barlow out of the outside. Blocked up with the net. NC will retry. Verostek off the block once more. Kept alive by Mohawk. Pushed deep. Patterson was there. NC will try again. Gooder out of the back row. Spoljar with the dig for Mohawk. Mountaineers throw over a free ball. Here comes NC. They go to the middle. Kelly was always reaching for that one, and she found the tape. And after a big rally, that's a big momentum booster for the Mountaineers. So here's Baker. They go to Barlow again on the outside. She pushes deep, and she's able to side out for NC. They're pushing 3 now.
Coach Stone still with the timeout in his back pocket. And of course, Jenny Pellegrino using both of her timeouts here in this first set.
Rostek puts her serve into the net.
Little bit of mistiming there on the serve.
That'll set up Olivia Rosewell to serve now for Mohawk. Down 4. Her serve down the line, pass up by Gooder. Barlow now on the right side, swinging, and through the hands of Baker. And Barlow on back-to-back swings. She's got back-to-back kills.
Dropping the hammer on that one.
Mohawk can make a substitution here as Naomi Morton will come in. And as well alongside her, Addison LaRocque. So they'll make a similar substitution. Switching for the center and right side for Mohawk to keep backhands for the remainder of this set to try and come back from down 5 with NC pushing 2. LaRocque will play it over. Spoljar will have to put it over on a free ball. Tight to the net for Barlow, and she's stuffed. Up with the tape by McConkey. Good hands and good discipline to stay off the net that time. And a good strong block puts Mohawk within 4. Now Maggie Galen preparing to serve for the Mountaineers.
Something cracking up the refs.
Rostek passes, they go to the outside. Gooder swinging hard off the block, just out. And it's going to be NC with set point. Cormier and Kelly will come back in. As Tessa Kelly will go back and serve for NC with a chance to put this set to bed. Here's Tess Kelly. Spoljar passes. LaRock will go to the middle, but it was a double hit. And NC will take set number 1, 25-19. And a bit of a comfortable finish for them as the Mountaineers tried to make a push back late, but it wasn't enough to top NC here as they take set number 1 and looking to move into set number 2. What did you like from the Knights in that first?
Well, I mean, Niagara was able to rally and clean up their mistakes after that first half of the set, getting back to what they've done all season long. But they've been dominant at the line with the likes of Cormier, Skipper, and Gooder. Those three have been integral parts of the program the last few years, obviously. But here today, it's been a pleasure to watch those three so far as they look to get this evening going for NC, the finale of 2025.
And for Sam Cormier, we talked so much about her and her success over the past 3 years. She had a bit of a quiet first set, but when she had the opportunity, she took full advantage of it, Alex.
Yeah, as we see, right. Up for Cormier, right into no man's land. And for the first team all-star, it was quiet in the first half of that set, but it started to get going. As we'll take a look at Sam Cormier's rapid fire questions, get to know her a little bit better.
Probably a smoothie. Cats. I can fall asleep anywhere. See your face by Sunday. Probably building on by Sunday. Pineapple. Caesar salad with zingers. Probably the red heart. Probably a night person. Like ankle socks. Bad driving. Probably New Zealand. New girl. Probably brush my teeth. My keys, my laptop, and my water. Don't think less about yourself. Think about yourself less.
Sam Cormier in her third season out of St. Catharines, and talk about she was all rookie team. She was first team all-star last season, but that was as a middle. This year now playing on the right side for the Knights, and she's still contributing up in the net, currently first in the OCAA in blocks. She's 13 in kills percent this season, averaging just over 2.5. So a bit of a change for her, a bit of a learning curve, but she certainly has the ability and the determination to take on that new role and to play it at such a high level for the Knights this season.
Yeah, I mean, she got off to a little bit of a slow start this season. I mean, that's going to happen when you have a new position and, of course, a new team. But these last few games, she's really started to get going to that Sam Cormier that we all know and love. And, I mean, she has potential to be an MVP in this league. You mentioned all-rookie team, then first team last year. Year 3, who knows? The sky's the limit.
I don't know about you guys, but my takeaway from that profile, not a fan of ankle socks.
One thing I noticed too is she's a cat person, likes pineapple on pizza. I did not like those 2 takes. I don't know about you, Noah.
Not a pineapple person myself, but to each their own. So as we get ready here for set number 2, NC looking to take a commanding lead after winning set number 1, 25-19. Both teams will stick with the same lineup as we started this evening's match. And we'll start things off with NC in serve.
Knights a little bit up and down in that last set, but finished strong.
And it's clear to see that when NC is making mistakes, Mohawk are able to take advantage of it, but when they limit those mistakes, NC can really come away with some dominating performances as Tia Kelly will start things off with serve. And she sends that floater wide, so Mohawk will take the first point. So here's Avery McConkey now, and just gets the roll off the tape for an ace. And Avery McConkey has had a strong start for Mohawk here tonight. She had a strong first set, Up the net, now she's got an ace.
A little bit of bad luck there.
Tight for Kelly, they go to the middle. Came off the hands, Mohawk. Couldn't get it over. And Skipper will take the point for the Knights. Now here's Abby Gooder. Spoljar passes that one off the net. Mohawk will swing into the back row. Gooder there for NC. They go to Cormier. Mohawk will now try on offense, and they'll swing into the back row again this time. It's McConkey. Gooder got a touch, but she couldn't keep it in play. (3-1) Mohawk, and you can see early on they're looking to their big guns in Avery McConkey. NC looking to respond, and a cross-court swing from Vorostek is able to find the back corner. Emily Delohe will come back in for Larissa Skipper. She'll serve. Same substitution we saw in set number 1.
Delohe with some spot serving opportunities here. We've seen the likes of her, Hinman, and of course Charlize Strudel kind of rotate throughout that spot serving role as she commits the service error.
And of course, as a libero coming in to serve, she'll also give that option to stay in the back row and play defense, as she will here. Vorostek with a venoming swing down the line. And she's got back-to-back points now for NC.
NC doing a great job of not letting the fact that they're not in lead get to them.
Sam Cormier's serve. Mohawk leading 4-3 here early on in the second set. Down the line, Delohe was there. They'll go back to Vorostek, but she couldn't tip it over. Mohawk regains their 2-point lead.
A little bit too soft on that one.
Now here's Rosewell. Heavy serve. It was blocked up at the net. NC able to keep it alive. Vorostek swinging. That one long. No touch up at the net. Rosewell's serve again. Fought off by Delohe. They go to the middle. Kelly tipping around the block. And a smart play. The double came. And it was a tight set for Tess Kelly, and she was just able to tip that ball over the tape and find the line.
I mean, she took right what the defense gave her. There was all that open space on that right side, and she said thank you and picked up the kill.
Vorostek's serve. Cameron go to the outside, tipped over. Delohe was there. Tia Kelly, Gooder swinging, and she got some help off the block because that one dropped in front of Rosewell. Gooder trying to get herself going here early on in set number 2. Cameron to the outside. McConkey swinging. Cormier got a touch. And Mohawk was on the net. So NC able to tie things up.
If you're Niagara, you'll take it.
It's the first to 25, not who gets the prettiest points.
Yeah, there's no extra style points.
Pass up again off the serve from Vorostek. They go to the outside once more. Delohe with the dig. Overpass as Mohawk trying to play to the middle. They'll recycle it off the block. Again, McConkey. The set was low. She tips deep. Gooder trying to recycle it off the block, but there wasn't any touch up with the net. And 4 hits on NC. Mohawk takes the lead. Score 7-6 in favor of Mohawk.
6-7.
Pass up by Patterson. They go to the back row. Cormier finds the back line. Sam Cormier. And again, usually as a right-sided hitter, you'll be hitting that C ball, but the way they rotate out of the back row, they have Patterson come in on serve receive for Verostek in this rotation. You keep Sam Cormier in, and you let her swing out of the pipe, and she gives you that excellent reach out of that back middle position. Now, Tess Kelly serving. Cameron to the outside. McConkey swinging hard, and she found the back line.
And credit to Mohawk, they've been able to keep it close and, of course, have this lead. And I made the point in the open, if Mohawk wants to win this game, they need to get off to quick starts. They got off to a quick-ish start in that first set, and, of course, Niagara took care of business. But you're a lot more likely to win going off on a quick start than not.
Cameron serve, pass up by Verostek. They go to Cormier, get out of the back row. Spoljar was there. McConkey tipping over. NC keeps it alive. Now here comes Mohawk. Baker. Patterson with the dig for the Knights. Gooder swinging on the outside, blocked up in the net by Mohawk. They'll try again. Cormier found the net that time, and Mohawk takes a long rally.
A little bit low on that one.
Shallow serve from Cameron. And it's an ace. Mohawk takes back their 3-point lead, their largest of this set. It's 10-7. A similar position that NC was in the first set, and that's when they took their timeout.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we might be in the timeout zone soon.
Cameron serve, again passed off the net. Gooder out of system, will roll down the line. Cameron couldn't keep it in play. And the Knights side out.
And it's been more of those self-inflicted wounds. Go back to a couple points ago when Cormier had that chance to attack. She hit it right into the net, but it was a good pass for Cormier, and Niagara shooting themselves in the foot. Mohawk doing the same thing.
Cameron gets called on the double. And NC with 2 quick points on the Mohawk errors, and it's 10-9. Back at the start of the rotation with Tia Kelly serving.
If you're Niagara, you ideally would like to string together a couple of points in a row.
McConkey swung cross court again, and she's been unstoppable for Mohawk up the net in this second set. Tough one for Patterson. Gooder able to keep it alive. Cormier will throw over a free ball. What can Mohawk do with it? They go to the outside, and it was a tough set for Baker. And again, another mistake where you got a great opportunity on the free ball, and Mohawk not able to take advantage. So here's Abby Gooder now for the Knights. Cameron to the middle this time, pushed over by Gibbons. There was a call. It's going to be Mohawk on the net.
Mohawk not doing themselves any favors.
Well, I mean, yeah, you go back to that. They had the free ball. They shot themselves in the foot, touching up on the net, and now we're knotted up here at 11. I mean, Mohawk had a chance to run away with that set with that 3-point lead.
Cameron, and she was into the net as well. She crossed the plane out of the back rows, the setter, so NC takes the lead. It's 12-11 here in set number 2. And again, the Knights just doing a good job putting pressure on Mohawk and forcing them to make mistakes. McConkey overpass tight for Cameron. It's put down. And the Knights pummeling Mohawk for their mistakes here in the second set. Jenny Pellegrino trying to rally up her team and look to get a pass and get this offense going again. They were firing on all cylinders to start this set. They'll swing out of the outside. It was blocked up with the net, but kept alive. Cameron got a touch on the put down, but they couldn't get the second as Gibbons made an effort to get it, but was not able to keep it alive. And it's now a 3-point lead for the Knights, 14-11. But before that, Mohawk's going to take a much-needed timeout, trying to settle things down. And they've really struggled on their serve receive here. And it's trying to start any kind of offense in this middle part of the set.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to make to the point that they were in that zone with a 6-0 run. You're going to have to call timeout. They're making those individual mistakes, and that's going to cost you Nahas, especially against a team as good as Niagara. I know they've lost 3 in a row, but you give 3 points to pretty much anybody, they're going to make you pay. And I mean, you go back to the first part, even the first part of, I was going to say the first set, but honestly, the first part of these both sets, Niagara has given Mohawk points. In this run, Mohawk returned the favor. Honestly, I don't think in this game here so far, Niagara hasn't looked as sharp as we know they can be. It's been more so Mohawk making mistakes and gifting it to them, if that kind of makes sense.
Each team has shown glimpses of their top play, but yet to really see the best of the best from both of these teams, and we know what we can expect, especially from Tia Kelly and her serving so far this season. This coming from the first set, and that service ace that led them late in that first to allow them to come away with a 25-19 set win. They're looking to double up here in set number 2. They're leading by 3 out of the timeout, and a swing on the outside from Rosewell. He's trying to get Mohawk back on track.
That one went straight into the stands.
Ashley Gibbons now serving another 5th year. Their final season for Mohawk this season. Gooder with a tough pass towards the net. Cameron to the outside. Rosewell will swing again, and she swung it to the net. So now Larissa Skipper serving. And she returns the favor. So NC sends back the missed serve. It's 15-13. Now Kendra Baker, her first season out of Milton, Ontario for Mohawk. And her serve is short again, so a string of missed serves, and NC's going to switch things up. They'll make the same substitution they did in set number 1 to keep their setter in the back row, as Lily Ireland will come back, as well as Amy Barlow. Tia Kelly and Sam Cormier will take a seat for now. So here's Ireland's serve. That one deep and just in on the back line. Ireland with an ace. Trying to double up, but this time she puts it into the net. A flurry of missed serves from both teams near this latter part of the second set, and the game has really slowed down. Chance for either team to take a stronghold on this second. Mohawk could really use this set win. Don't want to go down 2-0. Barlow tipping into the block. She's able to recycle tight to the net. Pushed over. Mohawk able to put it over on a free ball. Ireland to the middle. Kelly swinging, and she couldn't clear the net.
I mean, I think you perfectly said it. Both of these teams have had a chance to put a stranglehold on this second set, and to be honest, the whole game, and yet we're still tightly contested.
Gooder with a tough pass. Ireland will go high ball to the outside for Barlow, and her swing gets down. And she's had some success from coming off the bench. She's swinging with confidence here in this one. It's now a 3-point lead for the Knights. And back serving is Kira Verostek.
Knights doing a good job of chipping away, but ideally they'd probably like to maybe make a few less errors on their part.
There goes another one. And we talked about the missed serves hurting NC this season, and they've hurt them in this second set. It could be a much different type of score here, but it's only a 2-point game. So here's Maggie Galen now serving for the Mountaineers. Puts in a good deep ball. Out of system swing for Gooder out of the left side. And she swings down the line. And NC within 6.
And to the point about with these servers errors and giving other teams extra points, that adds up. That could mean an extra set or two, which builds up over the course of the season, which puts miles on these players' legs.
Swing out of the right side for Gibbons on the step around, and Mohawk still staying within the mix. It's 19-17.
And I mean, I guess in terms of that, it doesn't matter for a game like today when you've got a whole month off, but when you've got 3 games in 6 days, 3 games in 8 days, adding those extra points and those more competitive points, the higher stress points, that's going to add up.
Barlow's swing. Mohawk kept it alive, but Kendra Baker was called on a lift. So NC will take the point. They're pushing 5 here now for a set 2 win. They'll bring back Sam Cormier as well as Tia Kelly. Kelly back to serve for the Knights. Leading 2017 here in set number 2. Her deep floater, Spoljar passes off the net. They'll swing out of the back row with Rosewell. Dug up by NC. Gooder swinging hard into the block. Patterson with a great cover off the block. Mohawk will go to the middle. Gibbons tipping over. Dug up on the back row. Tight to the net. Have to put it over as Skipper tips it shallow. Here's Baker swinging. Just can't keep it alive, and Mohawk takes a long rally. And NC struggling to put balls away. Mohawk doing a great job just keeping balls alive and forcing NC to make mistakes. Cormier, a great swing on the outside. Overpass, what can NC do with it? They go to Skipper. She tips over, Cameron was there. Baker dug up on the back line from Verostek, swung by Cormier. Kelly, Cutter, she tips, Spoljar with the dig. Mohawk on the run, and they couldn't put it over. And NC now within 4, they lead by 3.
I don't know how Spoljar got to that ball. That was crazy. It looked like there was tons of open space for Abby Gooder, but able to keep it alive. Nonetheless, NC still getting the point.
Spoljar there again on the serve receive. They go to Baker on the right side. She swings down the line. And Mohawk still within 2. It's 21-19. And Ashley Gibbons now back behind the line. Skipper will have to play a high ball, but Patterson will play over. Cameron tiptoe at the middle and misplayed on the outside. And it's a 1-point second set lead for the Knights.
Still 2 timeouts for Steve Stone and 1 in the back pocket for Jenny Pellegrino.
Gibbons, a deep floater. Kelly will go to the outside for Cormier. That one got through the block. Mohawk able to keep it alive. Kelly, Skipper, didn't connect, and it's a tie game.
Might be timeout time.
Credit to Mohawk. They have done an excellent job fighting their way back here in the second set as they look to tie things up after dropping the first. Gibbons, another good serve. Patterson passes. Kelly will go to the outside for Cormier. She puts it away. And when you need a big point, you go to your big time player in Sam Cormier.
And that's as desperate as a point that Niagara is going to probably need in this second set. All the momentum with Mohawk and Cormier there to get the kill.
Skipper, a deep serve. Cameron on the run. She'll find Baker off the block and down. Mohawk able to side right back out. And now Baker will serve. Kelly to the outside. Vorostek tips down the line. Cameron to the back row. Cooter with a big dig for NC. And a tough set. And Mohawk able to take the lead late here. They're pushing 2.
I can't believe that Steve Stone hasn't called a timeout. Still 2 in his back pocket.
Baker a deep serve. Kelly, Cormier, blocked up at the net. They recycle. This time Vorostek will swing. Overpass it. It's out of play. And Vorostek with the kill. And you feel
Coach Stone letting it ride.
that Steve Stone would most likely have taken a timeout at this point, but trying to trust his team against this Mohawk side to just try and fight through it and take the second set out with a win. But right now, it's a tight contest, and Mohawk with a lot of momentum that they've built here in the second set. And that's going to go past the antenna, and a miscommunication from NC, and it's set point now for Mohawk. And now Steve Stone will take that timeout.
A little bit of miscommunication there.
We've seen a bunch of those miscommunications to MJ's point, but when you're down 23-22 and they have a chance to serve the ball, it's really surprising that he didn't call that timeout, because I understand he's trying to go with his top players, and I get that. But at some point, you have to change things up, because Mohawk was on this run, and you can't keep your timeouts going into the next set. If Mohawk got point 24, then they call timeout, they get point 25, well, you just have a timeout in your back pocket that you can't use. Might as well use it. Then again, there's a reason why he's the head coach and I'm not, but that was still surprising nonetheless.
And NC struggling to find some offense, but they have found some through Sam Cormier. That was a big point to keep them alive here in this set. And what felt like was going to be a bit of a smooth road down the back end of the second set, Mohawk has made it difficult for NC, and they fought their way back in this one. And they currently hold set point 24-23 as Olivia Rosewell will serve. Kelly, they'll go to the outside. Swung on by Vorostek, and they needed that out of the timeout, a big side out.
I think one of the stories of this set is the service errors that Niagara committed.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a couple of balls that Vorostek has misplayed on that left side. She'll have a chance to get the lead for NC here on this serve.
So we're into extra points as Vorostek puts in a good serve, tight to the net. Cameron had to stay below the top of the tape, but she couldn't put it over. And that let NC put it back down. And a quick swing of points. And Mohawk's going to take their timeout with NC now with set point and a chance to take a 2-0 lead. So the timeout works. You get 2 straight points, and you're back in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. You've got the ball right in your hands. Control your own destiny in this set. And, of course, you still have that one timeout left should you need it. But Niagara doing a good job of bending but not breaking. They were down 23-22, 24-23. They were behind the 8 ball, and they kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And now they're up by 1 with a chance to win the second set and have a commanding 2-0 lead.
And Kira Vorostek has done an excellent job the first year here for NC this season. That's a big set. You miss your swing and the set's over. And with confidence, she swings cross court and keeps NC alive, and then puts in a good serve to give them a 1-point lead and a chance with set point here now. 25-24 as we come out of the timeout. NC looking to take a 2-0 set lead. Vorostek will be the one to serve.
Not the cleanest set, but definitely hard fought.
And I mean, that's what you're going to get out of these rivalry games, Niagara and Mohawk.
Cameron, high ball to the outside. Swung on. Cormier able to keep it alive. Patterson trying to put it over. It was a tight angle. And Mohawk wins the point. We're tied up at 25. Now here's Maggie Galen serving for Mohawk. Deep floater. Kelly on the run, able to keep it alive. NC throws over a free ball. Tight for Cameron. She tips into the pot. Dug up by Cormier again. Swinging down the line and out from Avery McConkey, and NC back with set point.
You have to give all the credit in the world to the defense on that play. 2 incredible digs, which, I mean, then allowed Mohawk to make that an attack that was a little bit too strong. But even if they had Mohawk got that point, still an unbelievable effort from that defense.
So here's Tess Kelly, a chance to put this set away, and she does! Tess Kelly with an ace, and NC takes out a tight one, 27-25, and NC leads 2-0, looking to do the sweep here against Mohawk at home to finish 2025 and break their losing streak. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't smooth, to say the least, for the Knights, but they get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously very tough set and a lot of mental mistakes, but obviously NC in the driver's seat now, and to be honest, they probably don't deserve to be up 2-0, but you've put in a good effort here today, and you've got the chance to pick up the sweep, but of course, still lots of work to do. The hardest set to win is always the last one, because Mohawk facing elimination, they don't want to be down 3. They don't want to go down 3-0.
That set were peanut butter. It'd be chunky because there was a lot of bumps along the way, but Niagara hung in there.
And Abby Gooder, 5th-year player with tons of experience, and those are the players you want to be taking you through a lot of tough points near the end of that set. She did with that kill out on the outside, and credit to Mohawk, they did a lot better job in that second set, taking advantage of the NC mistakes, and they limited their own as well and pushed it all the way to extra points. What did you like from that set? What do you want to see from them to try and stay in this game and not get swept here in the third?
Well, Mohawk has made some mistakes, especially towards the latter end of this set, and if they want to come back and win this game, they're going to have to clean that up, because they're going up against a very, very good Niagara team, obviously in a funk of their own, making some mistakes, but Niagara still with a chance to win this game, and Mohawk certainly not out of it.
If you're Niagara, if you can play a much cleaner set, this is going to be a lot easier for them than the last one was.
Pasta. Dogs. I can like hug myself and interlock my fingers. Drive by SZA. Yeah, anything by Rihanna from them. Pepperoni. Chicken Caesar. Heart. Night. People who chew with their mouth open. New girl. Brush my hair. Water bottle, phone, laptop. Pressure is a privilege.
One of the reoccurring themes of the rapid fire questions, apparently chicken, very popular at the core with the Knights.
That was 3rd-year Tess Kelly out of Niagara Falls, and another player that's had a lot of success through her 3 seasons here with NC. And big part of that middle tandem that played in the last 2 seasons, her alongside Sam Cormier. Of course, Tess Kelly, one of the best blockers in the OCAA, currently 4th coming into tonight. And she's looking to help push her team to a 3-0 set win over the Mohawk Mountaineers here at home as we get set for set number 3. No changes on the side for NC, and the same for Mohawk.
One thing about Tess Kelly is she's such a professional, and never see her get too high, never see her get too low. I know I spoke to her a couple weeks ago, and she spoke so highly of Larissa Skipper, talked about her leap this year. We talked about it a little bit before ourselves, Noah. She got some spot minutes here and there, and this year she's taken that leap in that middle position. I mean, she's got a good chance, or at least an argument, to be an all-star this season.
NC looking for their 6th win on the year and head into the new year, into 2026, with a win here tonight. And they could do it here in set number 3. After winning the first 2, Cameron puts that one into the net, and NC will take the first point.
I think the key to victory for the Knights is going to be working smarter, not harder this set.
So now here's Abby Gooder serving for the Knights. Passed up by Spoljar. They go to the outside. Baker. That was a tough angle for her, and she swung that one wide.
Good hands from Coach Stone.
Got a laugh from the line judge as he caught that one on the sideline. Of course, an ex-player here at NC, coaching both the women's and the men's team for a second consecutive season. Another great serve from Gooder, and Mohawk not able to put it over. It's 3-0 NC.
Niagara, some good momentum to start this set.
And that serve just long from Gooder. And the air will give Mohawk their first point as Avery McConkey will now go and serve. Second year at Stratford, Ontario. She's had a strong start to the season and a really good game here for Mohawk. She's been their most prolific hitter so far in this game as Cormier can't find the court that time. Conkey's deep serve fought off by Patterson. They go to the outside for Cormier, swung off the box, Boljar. Roswell swing now dug up by Gooder. They go to the outside for Rostek. Just hit it long, no touches. And it's 3 straight points for the Mountaineers. And we're back tied up.
And again, Niagara with a chance to blow this set open, granted very early on. And it's been a 3-0 run for Mohawk the other way. Kind of in the story of this game here so far.
Kelly to the outside for Rostek, a swing. Spoljar with a dig. Mohawk able to put it over on a free ball. Cormier. Put over on one by Verostek. Out on the outside, Baker couldn't get it in between the antennas. And it's back to a lead now with NC. Skipper will go back and serve. Her floater passed up. Cameron will go high ball to the outside. Swung down the line. It was dug up by Tia Kelly. Verostek swinging off the net. And she swung it deep. Here's Ashley Gibbons now serving for Mohawk. Kelly on the run. They go to the outside for Verostek. Tight to the net. Verostek trying to put it back down. And it came off the tape and out of bounds.
Now they're not doing themselves any favor right now.
Certainly one she would have wanted back. 5-4 Mohawk leading. Gibbons' serve came off the tape. With a lot of pace, they're able to keep it alive. Verostek will swing out a system, and that one off the block and dropping in. And we're going to see a substitution here as the introduction of Charlie Strudel. She'll come in for Kira Verostek. And she'll play on the left side.
Knights needing to regain some momentum.
Gibbons now serving, and she sent it long. So NC will take the free point on the error. Now here's Sam Cormier. Mohawk leading by 1. And Cormier puts it into the net. Slow start again for the Knights here in set number 3. Here's Kendra Baker, her serve. Trudell passes off the net. She'll get a high ball on the outside to swing on. Cross court dug up by Spoljar. Tipping over the block, and down is Olivia Rosewell.
Niagara getting caught out of position there.
All of a sudden, an 8-2 run in favor of Mohawk.
Baker puts it into the net. been a common theme for both teams is service errors. And Charlie Trudell looking to end that trend. Her serve, a good one. It's an ace. Too much power to the back end for Charlize Trudell. And it's 8-7, Mohawk still leading. Another heavy serve. Cameron will go to the outside. And a down ball played over. Kelly over to Gooder, swung on. Mohawk keeps it alive on the back end once more. Cameron, Rosewell, Patterson with the dig. Kelly towards the back row, and Cormier got caught in two minds that time as she couldn't clear the net.
I think she got a little bit ahead of herself on that one.
Perhaps a little bit too much time.
And the serve into the net for Rosewell.
Both teams not having a great time clearing the net on those serves.
So here's Tess Kelly. 1 point game here in set number 3. And Mohawk couldn't keep that one alive off the pass. Shank from Spoljar. And it's back tied up. Kelly, another good serve. They go to the outside for McConkey. Cormier with the dig. Trudell will go to the outside now for Gooder, swinging off the net. Spoljar with another dig. Push deep, NC keeps it alive. Gooder rolling over the tape. Cameron on the run. They go to the back row for Rosewell. Skipper was there and didn't clear the net. Nonetheless, NC takes the point. They lead by 1. Kelly's serve. Cameron again, able to keep it alive. Mohawk throws over a free ball. Skipper. Rosewell tipping over the back row. Skipper with good hands up at the net. Swung on by Gooder. McConkey tipping down the line. Trudell. Gooder keeps it alive. Skipper puts over a free ball. Long rally here. Kelly, so smart up in the net. And the perfect dig, tip into the pot. It's 11-9 Knights.
That's a high IQ play from a high IQ player. And of course, the Knights have made some mental mistakes like that. But the defense, Niagara taking what the defense has given them so far.
Kelly's serve. NC will take it on their own side as Gooder rolls over. But it's kept alive by Mohawk. McConkey swinging over top of the block and off of Cormier and out of play. And Mohawk responds with their big swinger at Avery McConkey. Galen's service deep and a good leave on the back end. Service error gives NC a 2-point lead. Tia Kelly now serving for NC. Cameron, back set, step around for Gibbons. What a dig by Trudell. And they're going to call it a double on the Knights side. But what an effort from Trudell to keep that ball alive.
A couple of really nice digs from Charlize in this third set. Want to give her a belated happy birthday shout. It was her birthday over this weekend.
Kelly, Skipper, dug up by Spoljar. They'll try again, this time with Cormier tipping into the block. Cameron was there. McConkey swinging across court, dug up by Patterson. Cormier will swing again. Cameron, McConkey again tipping down the line. And Kelly thought it was going short, went right through her hands, and we're back tied up at 12.
Mohawk refusing to quit.
Cameron serve, a shallow one. Patterson was there. Cormier puts it away. Sam Cormier with a big kill for the Knights. And they're back up 1.
Ideally for Niagara, they can maybe start stringing together a couple of points in a row, open themselves up a lead.
Here's Gooder's serve. Spolstra are able to fight it off on the back row. Baker will throw over a free ball. Patterson will help it along over for Cormier, and she's come up short a little bit on some of her tips up of the net, and that time wasn't able to clear it, and it's Mohawk side out, 13-all.
Here's a look at a couple of former NC Knights athletes, Mitch Tremblay, Mitch Chirpy, and Ashton Newitz.
Cormier making up for it right there.
Delohi will check back in. She'll come in for Skipper. A little bit later in the set now. She subbed it to every set now to come and serve. 14-13, NC leading. Her floater passes up by McConkey. Cameron will go to the outside for Rosewell. Delohi got hands on it. It might have been going out cross court. And she elected to play it. And it will be Mohawk side out.
There's been a couple times where I thought maybe the ball would have trickled out and Niagara getting their hands on it. So maybe a couple of points gifted to Mohawk in that sense, but these two teams just cannot get away from each other on the scoreboard.
Gibbons serve, tough one for Gooder to handle. They'll throw over a free ball. They'll go to Baker on the outside. She swings it to the block and out. A tool for Kendra Baker. And Mohawk back with the lead. Trudell passes off the net. She gets a high ball on the outside, swinging into the block. NC keeps it alive. Kelly will throw over a free ball. Cameron Baker swinging through the block. And she's got back-to-back kills for Mohawk.
Now, last set, Coach Stone let things ride. Be curious to see if he calls a timeout soon here. Mohawk goes on a bit more of a run.
All things considered, this group is pretty experienced, of course, with the likes of Abby Gooder and Sam Cormier.
Gooder just able to keep it alive. Cormier will throw over a high free ball. Here comes Mohawk again. Miscommunication that time. Out of the middle, Trudell will swing down the line. Just in. Charlize Trudell gets a big point for the Knights.
Fine in the corner.
Knights down 1 here in set number 3, looking to do the sweep. Baker comes over and rolls one into Amy Lee Delohi. Trudell, and that one's in again on the back line.
I wonder if getting hit by the ball might have interfered with the line judge's opinion on that one. Because that one did not look into me.
It's certainly close, but nonetheless, Trudell bringing some momentum to this Knights squad.
Cormier serve, forces a free ball for Mohawk. Kelly to the middle to Tess Kelly. And it's dug up by the Mountaineers. Tip down the line, Delohi. Tia Kelly to the back row for Gooder. Rosewell didn't get all of that one. Cormier there with the dig. Trudell, that one surely is in as Trudell drops the hammer down the line. It's 17-16 Knights.
You see glimpses of it sometimes, and right there, Charlize Trudell showing off the hammer, giving NC the lead.
Here's Cormier's serve. That one's deep. After stringing some points together, NC gives up the service error, and Mohawk will now serve with Kendra Baker. Her serve is good. Delohi there on the back line to pass. Trudell again swinging off the block and out of bounds. Charlize Trudell tools it off the hands, and she's got a couple of kills here now. In this third set, she'll go back and serve. Her serve, passed up by Spoljar. High ball to the outside for Rosewell. Delohi. Now Gooder swinging. Kept alive off the block by Mohawk. Rosewell. Full swing cross court. Dug up by Delohi again. Out of the back row, Cormier. Miscommunication as that one finds the back line. NC looking a lot more comfortable here now, swinging. Well, credit to Mohawk. They kept a lot of balls alive. But NC able to now take a 2-point lead as Mohawk calls their first timeout here, set number 3.
Even in that first set, Niagara, these two teams had some good rallies, and Mohawk was able to win a bunch of those really long rallies. So far in this set, as you mentioned, Niagara winning those rallies, and still a lot of work to be done for NC, but 6 points away from match point. And if Niagara wins it in 3, it'll look pretty, okay, you have the 3-set win, but certainly not your stereotypical 3-set win. Certainly a lot of work, regardless of the result, win or loss, for NC that Niagara is going to need to do, practice over this long break.
Charlize Trudell coming off the bench for a struggling Kira Vorostek in this third set. She's had a couple of big kills, including that one, which is able to get NC back into the lead. It's 19-17 here in set number 3. And they're looking to close out a tight one and do the sweep here over Mohawk to finish the 2025 calendar year. Trudell will be the one to serve. And she just sent it long.
Call that the heat check serve.
Mohawk's going to make a serving substitution here. They'll bring in Jaden Rattray, the second year out of Hamilton, Ontario. She'll come in for Olivia Rosewell. Her serve passed up by Delohi. They go to the outside for Gooder. Off the block and out of bounds. Abby Gooder gets the tool. And it's pushing 5 now for NC. Skipper will check back in as Delohi rotates into the front row. And Tess Kelly will go back to serve.
In terms of timeouts, one left in the back pocket of Jenny Pellegrino, and of course Steve Stone with a pair of his own.
So here's Kelly, NC with a 2-point lead. Cameron towards the middle, Trudell with the dig. Gooder will swing off the net, dug up by Spoljar. Mohawk keeps it up off the net, off the hands of Gooder, and Skipper could not keep it alive.
Mohawk refusing to lay down for this one. Putting up a good fight.
So here's Maggie Galen, 4th year, out of Burlington. And she puts in a good serve. They go to the middle. Skipper gets it right back, and it's a 2-point lead once again for NC, pushing 4. Here's Tia Kelly. They go to the middle. Gibbons tipping over the block. And Patterson was there. Trudell in the back row. She swings into the net.
Sight's a little bit low on that one.
So 1 point game. And Kyra Cameron trying to will her team back and extend this game to a 4th set, but she misses the serve.
It's clutch time for Niagara.
Make or break time on the flip side for Mohawk.
Abby Gooder's serve. Spoljar passes towards Gibbons. She couldn't clear the net. And it's pushing to now for NC. Mohawk will take their final timeout. 23-20. And Niagara College looking to do the sweep here against the Mountaineers. And they're only 2 points away. And for Mohawk in this timeout, Alex, if you're wanting to try and extend this game, what are the keys to success coming out for these next couple points?
I think at first they have to get a little bit more luck on their side because they've had some of these long rallies that's gone in favor of NC, but of course, they need to be more responsible with the ball and lock up defensively because they have 1 point to play with defensively, and outside of that, that'll be the end of this game. Still 2 timeouts left in the back pocket of Steve Stone. Hopefully, for the Knights, he can leave those 2 timeouts at the end of this game. It'll be NC to serve as they look to win the finale of this regular season.
So out of the timeout, 3-point lead for the Knights. Abby Gooder will serve. 2 points away from the 3-0 set sweep against the Mountaineers to finish 2025.
A reversal from the last home game the Knights played.
Gooder serve into the net, and it'll be an ace for Abby Gooder. It's game point now for the Knights. Gooder with a chance to put it away. Spoljar. They go to the outside. McConkey swinging. That one goes wide. But it came off the touch. It'll be Mohawk point.
I think half the bench is off and ready to celebrate. Keep an eye on that because I could completely change the complexion of this game. From here, it looked like it wasn't deflected.
So 24-21. NC still with a chance to put this game away. And they put the set tight to the net. And it's put down. So back to a 2-point game. And it's like someone lost their jewelry during that play. So making sure that's cleaned up before we continue on. The Mohawks still well within this. But first, Steve Stone's going to call a timeout.
Steve Stone recognizing that Mohawk's still in this, but what a bizarre turn of events. You think the game is over. I thought the game, I don't know about you two, I thought the game was over. And then all of a sudden, Mohawk gets a pair of points, and they have the ball down by 2, and a chance to get right back in this thing.
Well, the up ref had made one call, and it was in favor of the Knights. And the down ref saw some touches up the net, including the line judge over in front of the NC bench who had made the call. So the call was reverted to give Mohawk the point, and you kind of just feel like NC just lost their focus a little bit and wasn't ready for the next point.
Well, I mean, you saw half the bench come off, and I mean, I get it. The excitement. Look at that attack from NC, but you have to stay calm and composed in these situations, especially in a set like this, because all of a sudden they've put up 2 points, and Mohawk with the ball has a chance to get it within 1.
So here's McConkey out of the timeout. And handcuffed that time was Trudell. Gooder will throw for a free ball. Mohawk a chance to get themselves within 1. Tipped over the block. Patterson keeps it alive. Tight to the net for Trudell. She's blocked it down. And Rostek's going to come back in for Trudeau. Still with game points, 24-23.
I mean, even then, you saw the miscomposure amongst the Knights, and it has given Mohawk free life in this one.
Kelly, Rostek finds the line, and that will do it.
Now they can celebrate.
They made it interesting at the end, but they do the sweep. 25-23, the set 3 score. And the Knights will roll into 2026 with a win against the Mountaineers as they move to 6-3 on the season. Mohawk handed their 6th loss of the year, and they'll go into the break on a 5-game losing streak. And could use the reset to try and revamp their season, but for the Knights, a big win after a couple of losses over the past 2 weeks.
Absolutely, I said it in the open. It's about as must win of a November game as you can have, if that makes sense, because you lost 3 straight. And if you went down against a rival who, let's be honest, has really struggled this regular season, you have to win this game and get right back on track, because this Western Conference is jam-packed. I mean, there's not much breathing room. And I mean, if you go on a 4-game losing streak against a couple of less par teams, that could cost you a home playoff game.
So NC comes out with a big win. Final thoughts, MJ?
As we mentioned earlier, it's nice to see that going into the new year, the Knights are starting off with a victory behind them. And ideally, they can keep that momentum going forward and regain the early 5-win momentum they had in the season.
So that will do it from us. The men's slate to come in about 30 minutes time. Stay tuned here in for that one here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center as the Knights look to get their 2nd win in a row when they take on the Mountaineers. About to start at around 8 p.m. But the Knights take out a big win, 3-0 over the Mountaineers. As we'll say good night from myself, Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vandenhack, and MJ Graham. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night. We'll see you in the new year.